Welcome to my Sorare Journey. This is episode 60, and yeah, never thought I'd be saying that. But this week we have some investment into the club. There has been a spending spree at Raided the Banker FC. We have literally raided the banker. If you know me, there is a lot of thought that goes into these purchases. So we're going to run through all of that and why I might have just become relegation lover. First up then, no surprises if you catch some of my streams. Kieran Trippier has entered the gallery. I mean, why? Why not? We need a defender in Champion Europe, and is there anyone better? Last 40 of 67, in my opinion, the best Champion Europe defender right now. As prices have come down, he's gone down from about, where's his high? He's come down from £1,500 and I've got him for 352. On top of that, I even got a better deal. He was selling for about £400 at the time. I saw that the guy selling was actually selling his whole gallery. When you're selling your whole gallery, you're not too bothered about the price. You know, you just want to get out. So I offered him a low ball offer. He countered with like a fair offer. I accepted 352. Now we have Trippier. Let's hope he stays on those sets. Let's keep getting those tackles. Let's keep getting those assists. Like, yeah, that's all we need from you, Trips. Come on. Our first introduction into the world of relegation lover, Hugo Duro from Valencia, was highly tipped to be a special player. This year he looks to have fallen off with essentially the whole of the Valencia team. Obviously are balancing the relegation battle at the moment. Watched a little bit of Valencia, and to be honest I haven't watched much of Hugo, I guess because I didn't own him at the time. But he sold at a max price of 928. I picked him up for £44, right? And in rare, I feel that's a really good price. Last 15 of 30, I actually needed us forward for this game week. That's why I went and got him. I thought he was playing this week, and then it turns out Cavani might play, and Cavani's a starter. So don't be afraid if I do get rid of this guy, because it was like a one game week punt. But if I hold on to him at 23 years old, he's got so many years left. He could be playing in La Liga Segunda next year. Yeah, a good value pickup, isn't he? There has been a forward crisis in my gallery recently. Dybala was injured, then Bele's injured, there was a suspension, there was two suspension for Fidel as well. I was essentially out of forward, so I needed another one, and step forward Takumi Asano. So don't know much about him, but he puts up good scores, but like long term he's put up bad scores, so he's a good average. Obviously I needed someone for the cap mode, and again, Bochum are fighting relegation. Probably not someone I'll hold on for a long term. You know, it's just a nice pickup at £40 when you can get an average of 39. He fits my team. We'll see how he plays this week, and then we'll assess whether we want to keep him. I posted Asano on my Twitter, and one of you guys was like, well, if you're going to pick someone up, that's probably will go down and stay with Bochum. It'd be Forster. He was £10 for an average of 39. Just keeps you a little more flexible in the rare division, especially that cap 240. You know, I've spoke about trying to focus on it a little bit more, especially for me. Like, you know, I have a decent sized gallery. I should be trying to yield some ETH back from it every week, and I think, yeah, you need some low average players. Everyone knows that, so that's why we've got him. I mean, £10 in rare. When was the last time you were able to pick up cards like that? In order to explain the next purchase then, I'm going to have to go through my spreadsheets. You know me, I am a massive geek on this game. I like to take things very seriously. And I was stepping up to get some super rares. I've discussed it many times. I think it's a great time to move up on Sorare. I believe in the platform. You know, it's only improved whilst prices have gone down. It's an opportunity, right? So where am I going to upgrade? It doesn't really matter. I've actually put in the players I already got. So I have Hendricks, I have Simican. I got them for 4 extra rare. So what I'm trying to be really prudent with is how much I spend over their rare price, because I feel that people get carried away with these super rares where they're just like, oh, well, if I want it, there's not many, so I'm just going to go get it. But there's 100,000 footballers on this platform. I'm not sure if that's the exact number. There's a lot of footballers on this platform, right? You don't have to get one. There's very similar players to the one you won't get. So that's what I'm, you know, trying to bring into my gallery. So you'll see the green dots are the ones I picked up, and they'll be in the row of, say, like I played 5x for Hendricks. Obviously, that's on my max, right? 5x is my max. I did that because Simican was injured, and I thought I'll get the backup. It turned out to be a short-term injury, but they both seem to be playing at the moment, which is just a huge win for me. Like, I'll talk about it a little bit later. Wijnaldum, 4x. I got him when he was injured. I think this was a great pickup. He seems to be doing really well. And then we're filling in these reds, right? All of these players are players I'm interested in. They're not just random players. I could go for everyone if I had the time, but I'm not going to. And yeah, you're just looking at the sold ones, are their price, and then what kind of region they'd be in terms of their rare price. So Unai Simon went for 3.5x rare. I think that's great. I just don't have £2,000 to spend on him. Vivian went for 6.5x. Gaia went for 7+. Like, there's a lot on the high end here where I think people are just getting carried away. I was so interested in Alex Garcia. I had about £1,100. I was ready to go get this super rare Garcia. He's just absolutely killing it for Girona. I spoke with a super rare owner. I spoke to Channy Sports. What a lovely man he is. He informed me that, yeah, he thinks he'll probably get a move inside La Liga this year. So I thought, even better, I've got next year, because when you're buying now, obviously you want to be focusing on next year as well. And what happened to his price? Like 1,500. What is that as a percentage of the rare price? 8x. I mean, I'm all for like overspending on the players, but 8x the rare. I mean, it is an overspend for me, but I understand how good he is, and like I think a really key part at the moment is a lot of people think rare prices are seriously lower than they should be. And I'm kind of in agreement with that. So when I'm looking at 5x, I'm looking at 5x and I'm thinking, wow, really, I'm just taking Hendricks as an example. Hendricks is really a £70 card, so it's actually a lot less than 5x. That's when, or if the rare market recovers. Sinistera would have been a good one. I was really interested in Richarlison. He fits the bill perfectly for what we're trying to do. We want potential big scorers, might be out of form at the moment so we can pick them up cheap, but long-term a really solid player. That is Richarlison, right? If Kane goes from Spurs or if a new manager comes in and really likes Richarlison, nailing down the spot and, 598, but I had to be strict with my limits. I was the bid at 5x. Someone came in and went 5.5. Was I going to go 6? No, I had to be strict, had to be prudent with it. And then we have our biggest purchase yet. Last night, Edgar Baddy came in as a super rare goalkeeper. He came in for £965, which I think is very reasonable for a super rare goalkeeper. But yeah, let's talk about why. It's a little bit risky, and by a little bit risky, I mean ultra risky for me. Having a goalkeeper is a great option in Champion Europe because it opens the door to the super rare division, and it also opens the door to just having more depth in terms of the Champion Europe Pro division. That's why I went for Champion Europe. Every single player on this list is Champion Europe. But you can't afford Unai Simon. David Soria would have been a good one to pick up, actually missed it, and he is a lot more expensive. £300 goes a long way, and then the rest of them I just was out of price. But it looks like 3 to 3x for a rare goalkeeper at the minute seems to be the price. So I thought, I can pick up this Edgar. In the last year, he's played every game for Elche except for 2, and you may be looking at the score and thinking 40.5, what are you going to do with that? But that's the last 15, right, of a club that's definitely getting relegated. So this is where I could become relegation lover, and it's like, well, Elche are guaranteed to go down at this point, right? If he stays with the club, I've then got a goalkeeper in the top half of La Liga Secunda, who, by all accounts, is a very good goalkeeper. He has the most saves in La Liga this season. He's been with the club for like 3 or 4 years. His contract ends in 2025. Like, I don't think it's priced in of these cards going down and getting relegated and then becoming strong players in the league below. So I'm making those sort of plays now. It might be a little bit early, April, when we're finishing in June time, but I think now's a perfect time when no one's looking at them, and then soon people like me will be making these videos, and then more people will be making these videos, and then everyone's like, oh, you want the players that are going to get relegated, right? So that's where I'm looking. If you're looking at the yellow X, it's an injury personal. He is having a baby, or his wife's having a baby, so shout out to them. Hope it's all successful. But yeah, like, it's a mathematical pickup, right? He fits the range, he opens the door to so many cards, so what's the risk? The risk is when I was looking at players like Alex Garcia here, I was looking to really improve my Champion Europe Rare Pro chances so that I could essentially go from like a Gini Wijnaldum, who's an average scorer, to an Alex Garcia, who's a massive scorer, have him in super rare, chance of winning. I can play between rare and Rare Pro. Essentially, it just makes my teams a lot stronger, and I have depth across 2 divisions. But the goalkeeper changes the game completely. A very weird situation happened with my gallery where the doors were actually open to me because of what happened at Leipzig. So I bought Simican and Hendricks as one being the starter and one being the backup. They switched formation to a 3-back formation, which now allows both of them to play. So they've both got horrible averages because they were sharing half of the minutes. But now they get almost guaranteed, they're not guaranteed game time, but they're more likely to start. Wijnaldum has gone from out of form injured to a starting player in most of the games. Edgar should play every game for Elche. We're a forward away from being able to compete for the capped super rare 240, right? That where you can win in 250 points, you win $250. Every week I can do that, right? Every week, if I was good enough, right? 250, a really achievable score. And these low averages really open up the door for me. At the moment, I've spent £2,000 on the team, and I'd have to hit the threshold 10 times to return the full value of the team. Now, what are the risks, right? I don't have a forward, right? I need to go out and spend a forward. That'll be another, what did I put, £450 for a bang average forward on the game. Why it's so high risk is I have no depth. I have no fixture selection. I have no recovery for injuries. So, you know, it doesn't, like, people stress if their goalkeeper gets dropped. I completely understand that. My goalkeeper gets dropped, I'm in a absolute pool of mud. But any of these players get injured and the team can't play. I don't even have any player that can step up in their position. So what am I going to do about that? I mean, I think I'm going to need to sell off some assets. If you look at, who I've got for sale at the moment, there's some strong players in there. So, just raising funds with Asano, Hugo Lloris, a bad game at the weekend, but a solid keeper pretty much. Not sure where he'll be next season, but I think he could be a good one to take a punt on at that price. Ousmane Dembele, out injured at the moment. I know he's going to come back and absolutely rip flames, but I can't be sitting on players waiting for injuries when I need forwards to try and achieve super rare thresholds. Jan Sommer and Upamecano, part of my limited sell-off. Look, if I don't need them, I'm going to need to get, essentially rid of them. Jan's obviously a risk when Neuer comes back. So, yeah, I don't love my own strategy, which is weird, but the doors were open to me, and sometimes you just need to walk through them and hope for the best. I never thought I'd have the opportunity to play in the super rare division, really, ever, but now it's actually one player away from being possible. And yes, I know the risks, but high risk with high reward. That's why I can earn my team back in 10 games, or if we had a forward, that's, let's say, £450, 12 game weeks, right? And I'd have all of these players for the rest of their years. I tried to be very specific and get players that aren't 36, aren't 37, aren't going to retire soon. So a lot of opportunity. I am secretly excited for it, but I don't want to get over the top because one injury and it's gone. And then I'll need to sell even more players. Like, if we actually look at my full gallery here, who is someone that you'd be able to get rid of? Like, maybe one of the goalkeepers here, like maybe Rui Patricio, but as a Roma stacker, as a Roma fan, it's going to be very difficult. I'm not getting rid of Dybala. Just picked up Trippier. Pellegrini is so out of form. I think this price is undervalued. Like, there's not many more places that I can raise funds. So we really need to sell these players. We really need a forward before the end of the game week. And let's talk about who we're going to try and get, I guess, because there is Champion Europe forwards ending, and I'm a little bit stuck between them. If you had watched one of my last videos, I did, it's called More Minutes with Jeremy Magnan. So the French League expert, he had Kevin Volland as one of his players leaving. And what do I need? A cheap forward that's out of form that could be great next year. He just seems like the perfect option. You'll see him. He's on my list of forwards here. So if we're looking at like a 4 max 5x, £260, very under budget would be great. I think the problem with Kevin is he's named Kevin. If you're in my Discord, you'll know why I said that. Do join my Discord in the link below. You get a chance to win ETH most weekends by trying to beat my scores. But yeah, he runs the risk of not playing. He runs the risk of being a sub that comes and gets 1 minute. He's not in a great position for this end of season, and I do need him for end of season, but I also need him for the end of season next year. But at £40, I trust the League One expert. I trust Jeremy. So this is someone I try and go after. But if he goes for one of these 7Xs again, what am I going to do? That leaves me with about 3 days to pick up a super rare. There is actually Martin Braithwaite finishing soon. He's in contention to get relegated as well. And I'm like, is that someone I want? Like 161. So he's 161 at the minute. If he was to go for 5x, he's up to 500. So he's someone that's like getting guaranteed minutes. He should be, I don't know if he'd stick with the team if they go down. That's one of my biggest risks. But he never really puts up that nicer scores. He just seems a bit overvalued. If you can get Volland for £30, £40, or you can get Braithwaite for 100, I definitely lean to Volland. But just having someone that could play there every week is a really nice benefit to have. This Theo could actually be good. Obviously, Bongonda was huge at, I forgot what team it was now, but it was in the Belgian league, was it? Genk. £42 does seem great value. Cadiz are in contention to be relegated, but I don't think they will get relegated. Puts up higher highs, which obviously is what I kind of want. Yeah. Have I got Theo on my list? Haven't got Theo on my list. I'm going to add him because that is a good price. He seems like he's just gone to number one spot. But I think I'll just leave it here for now. And when I get an update on who I do buy, I'll let you know. But we are running risks. We are running risks. No injuries. Oh, and when I say no injuries, Simikan's already injured. I'm just praying he's back next weekend. He had a slight knock. He didn't play this week. So There is actually one part I missed out, sorry. I am looking to get really cheap filler players. I was trying to win this Tom Kearney. Obviously, he comes off the bench of Fulham. I last picked him up for like £50. Pavel, yeah, so I was in this auction. I bid £45. Someone bid 51 while I was asleep. The fact Pavel Trader has him, that opens the door. I'm going to try and make a deal with Pavel Trader. That's great news for me. I can get rid of maybe like a Sano or someone like that. Hopefully he just doesn't try and exploit me with a massive price. So yeah, I'm building. I'm in a difficult spot. I'm going to try and get my way out of it. And then I'm playing so far up the divisions. A couple of weeks ago I was playing Limiteds. Now I'm going to be playing Cap 240 Super Rare. So yeah, wish me all the luck in the comments below and I'll update. So I'm back with an update. And the update is I might be about to break all my rules. Not feeling good about it. But I've just got myself in a sticky situation, haven't I? So a Kevin Vollen is ending in 11 minutes. I discussed Kevin about how his issue is he's not performing at the current minute and I need someone towards the end of the season. And yeah, besides that, who else am I going to get? I spoke about Bongonda, 383. This is just the most ridiculous sale I've ever seen compared to Rare. 9x the Rare. Now, this is where I was discussing before some of the rare prices are just well off because, you know, what makes more sense, right? Theo Bongonda being 42 and Braithwaite being 93 or Braithwaite being 302 and Bongonda being 383. So someone like Theo Bongonda is probably a great pickup in rare right now, but I'm not looking for rares. I don't need a rare. I need a super rare forward. I need a super rare forward. Otherwise, I've wasted my £2,000 team because I can't do anything about it. So Kevin Vollen makes a lot of sense, right? You know, he gets good scores. The issue was he wasn't performing at the minute. And if you let me load up Sorare data, you'll see, oh, let me just pull it into the screen a little bit more. He is performing at the minute. He started at the weekend. He got a 60. And this was playing striker. So as long as he's playing, I wouldn't really care. He obviously gets better scores at right mid. But, I mean, I don't know what to do. His scores don't fill me with joy, but this is for next season and long term, and Jeremy thinks he'll be good, and but he's also called Kevin, and I refuse myself to buy any Kevins after the last Kevin De Bruyne let me down. Even in my Discord, I've got a section on Kevins, where you just post every Kevin you hate. We let a Calvin Phillips slip in there as well, because similar names, but I just, even then, right, the other rule is £269, so he's, you know, the value I have him at is rare is my Sorare data value, and that's already 5x, and 5x was my max. I can bend that a little bit, and my next bid will actually be exactly 5x, which I'm fine with, if you take his last sale as the max, which is 57. But realistically, he's a bit like Theo, where he shouldn't be down this low. He should be much closer to 100. That's if he starts, and I'm no expert, but if Jeremy thinks he'll get some more minutes, obviously one of the problems is that Mbolo is taking up a lot of the spots. He's, you know, undroppable at the minute, but Mbolo is injured as well. So I've got 9 minutes to decide. I'm leaning towards bidding. I would bid 286 in sterling. Because the problem is, like, who else do I go for? I'll do it on a different screen here, but the only name, and I have gone through so many super rare names, that can get up to a reasonable price and put up reasonable scores is Willian. £301. But he's 34 years old. He's on a 1-year contract. He might not even play in the Premier League next season, which means you have no idea where he played. He flopped at Corinthians when he went back to Brazil. I mean, he doesn't give you much hope, does he? He'd be a great reserve, but I don't need a reserve. But I have no idea if Vollen's going to play. There's so many internal dilemmas because I've put myself in this position, but at the same time, it's a massive opportunity. If I pick up Vollen now, he does get more minutes before the end of the season and next season. What a bargain I would have picked up. Like, this guy is such a good player when he plays. He can play anywhere. Striker, right mid. Oh, this is a tricky situation to be in. So this Alesse Ben Seguia seems to be playing. 18 years old. He must be some talent. I've never really heard of him, but I can't even hedge my risk and maybe pick up his rare because he just doesn't have any so rare cards. So he was dropped for the last game. They did smash it, but Lorient aren't the strongest of teams either. I am so messed up of what to do because I'm in this position where I don't think Volland is a fantastic player, right? If I had loads of options, I wouldn't pick Volland. But I've got a tip on him, you know? When I'm looking at players that will get more minutes next season, that is a tip. On top of that, I need someone that's going to play now. What was his last sale price in Super Rare? It was ages ago. Just not going to be handy. It'll be about, 500. So you should always look at long term. Long term, he's great. But why has he had all this time off? Okay, I think I've made my decision, right? He's been injured for so many games this season. I think he could just be a good pickup. When he plays 34, 35 games every season. The fact he's only played 12, like Jeremy thinks, he'll either move back to Germany or they'll free up some space for him in the team. Just put the bid in. I don't know. Okay, put the bid in. Put the bid in. You need a forward. He's a forward. He's a super rare. There's not many. You've got enough budget. He just fits the budget. One bid and done. Okay. You're the highest bidder, paying an ETH. Okay. Now I'm sat here for 4 minutes getting notifications on random players that are just well below last sales. If you remember a couple of minutes ago where I said I really need none of my players to get injured because I have no backup for them, Gino Wijnaldum last night goes off with an injury. I am loving this. I love the high risk, but I just can see it collapsing in front of my eyes and everyone in the comments being like, we told you not to get into super rares. You knew you shouldn't have gone into super rares, but I'm halfway to a team now, and by halfway, I mean I am halfway. I need more than maybe 5 players, probably need 10. In my initial threshold strategy, I said you need 20 to be attempting it, so now I'm trying it with 10. And if it goes wrong, you can always sell these players. Yes, it takes a while, but they're not completely illiquid assets. Like, you can sell them. Got 2 minutes to wait, and yeah, I'll update you. 1 minute 35. If I was going to get beat in the auction, it's got to be in the next 30 seconds, right? Like, you would be the dirtiest of so rare players to wait until 10 seconds on a super rare auction that I bid 5 minutes earlier. Oh. Also, there's this Branko van der Boomen. What a cool name. Like, 63 average for Toulouse. Like, this could be a serious player. Obviously, the risk with him, if any of you are interested, is he could lose sets on, a player playing this well at Toulouse, he's probably going to get a move up. So, right, 3 minutes, 1 minute, 59 seconds. I'll be back. Just realised I haven't even checked who Monaco play this week. That shouldn't determine whether or not you bid on a player, but I think I would like a strong, easy opposition. Lens, second in the league. Away. Oh, I wanted a good fixture, so we have another good fixture. We just had Lorient, and Volland did well. Have another easy fixture, we play well. There's going to be no changes in the team. Good news is, if they do show up at Lens, if Volland keeps his spot, moves on to Montpellier, he's just not going to play every game. Just get that around your head, Alex. You're paying essentially £50 in rare for a player, 55 for a forward. In a Champion Europe League, that is very rare. Oh, I've got a notification. Why have I got a notification? That didn't seem like 30 seconds. Come on. Yes, we won it. Okay. I've celebrated. I'm not sure if I should be. I've got to go and tell the boys in Discord that I have betrayed them. Yeah. So the team costs £2,400 to get a super rare Champion Europe threshold team. What that means is that if any of these players do become injured, I can roll them back into Champion Europe Rare Pro. I think that gives me a strong base. I obviously need some more players. I know everyone knows that. I'm trying to sell players like Ousmane Dembele to fund it. If I was to hit the thresholds, I only need 12 hits to essentially get the whole team paid for. That is big. That is a strategy we're going with. I'm on the edge about it, but sometimes the decisions that seem the hardest are the best decisions. Thank you so much for watching this video. Check out my Discord down below if you want to try and beat me for some ETH and you want to have a laugh with some other lads in the community. And yeah, all the best to you. Cheers. And to all the Kevins out there, I'm sorry for discriminating against all of you because of what one Kevin has done to me. We hope Volland can retrieve the Kevin name and we can once again on this channel bring in players with the first name Kevin.